Hi, and welcome to another Morning Cup of SEO, where I'm going to cover the latest news in search and how it affects law firms. So I'm going to start with an interesting court ruling that came down, and that was that negative ratings on third-party sites are not defamatory. And this stemmed from actually Joy Hawkins wrote an article about this where a firm received a rating, a 1-star rating, and there was not any context or feedback or anything written in the review, just the 1 star. And so it was brought into question whether or not that was defamatory or not. The court ruled that that is not defamatory. I think that kind of sets a really negative precedence, because in her article, and she goes over this as well, and in her article she discusses that she had a client of hers that received multiple 1-star ratings without any context to it, and it seems as though as a competitor was trying to bring down their firm's reputation, and they were fairly successful in doing that. And restaurants can face the same backlash, or anything that goes viral for a negative reason. A lot of times you'll have a rating where it's just a 1-star rating, and as of right now, that's being stated, it's being ruled on that is okay, that a review does not actually need to have any context, and that giving 1 star is still just the opinion of the reviewer and can stay. Now, whether Google or Yelp or whatever the platform is, if they have a separate terms of service that would allow for that to be removed, that's a different story. The rating in question, the single 1-star rating without context, was removed by Google. And so if you do receive a 1-star rating by either Yelp or Google, it doesn't hurt to dispute that rating, especially if you don't recognize them, if they're not a client, it's not legit. Dispute it, and they may remove it, and therefore you will not be hit with any of the negatives that to bring down your overall rating. Now, next is an update that Google was going to roll out. It was their their core web vitals update, and they've delayed this. They've pushed it out till June. So if you're not ready, if your website's not ready for this update yet, you have a little bit more time. What this update covers is what's called the largest content paint. And what that is how long it takes for the largest piece of media or information, either like block of text or image or video, that appears in the first viewport. So if you're on your phone and it's that first screen that shows up, that's your first fold, and it's the largest amount, or how long it takes for the largest chunk of data to show up on that initial paint. The next thing it's going to measure is the first input delay. That's how long it takes for the website to respond to the user doing something. So if you were to click on something, how long does it take to have the server react to that? If you're putting an input and submitting something, how long does it take for the server to react to that input? And third is the cumulative layout shift. This just means that if you're ever reading a website and there's 2 paragraphs and there's an image, but the image is loading in between the 2 paragraphs. The image takes longer to load than it would than text does, right? So you're reading the text and the image loads above the text. Then it pushes your text down and you lose your place and you got to find out where you're at. That is what this measures. It's how much does the page shift while it's loading. And so those are the 3 things that are in the update, but that update is being delayed as a ranking factor. That's being delayed until June. And there's one more update, or one more piece to report on here, and that is that Google Search Console, or Google is rolling out into their Google Search Console a page experience report. And the page experience report, it will touch on these 3 items that are going to be a ranking factor come June. And so that's it's going to give you a measurement. It's going to tell you like a pass or fail, or how how you're doing for your largest content paint, the first input delay, and the cumulative layout shift. And those are those 3 things that we just discussed. It's also the report also shows whether a page has HTTPS. So is it secure? Are the pages on the site? So it's going to judge each page individually, and are the pages mobile friendly? Right now, there's a report that does that, but that's going to be wrapped into the user experience report. And so if your page is not mobile friendly, that definitely needs to be fixed. And whatever is causing the issue needs to make it so that pages are mobile friendly. Google, for a long time now, they have a mobile first index. So they keep 2 indexes. And if somebody's on a mobile phone, searching from a mobile phone, they're going to be using the index that is indexed, that has brought in the information based on what your mobile version of your site looks like. And the next one is very, I see a lot of attorneys' websites have an issue with this, and that is the report will be for the absence of intrusive interstitials. An intrusive interstitial is something that layers that comes over your site. So it covers the site. And a lot of times it's your chat box, on a lawyer's website, that's going to layer over the screen, and it's going to impede the user from being able to have the experience that they were expecting. They're expecting to read about your website and your services. They're not expecting to have a chat box cover the entire screen and try to engage with them. So that is an intrusive interstitial. That will be part of the page experience report. That has been a ranking factor for quite a while. So if that's something that your site does have, you may want to consider figuring out how you can remove that or change it so you can still attempt to engage with users without blocking the entire screen, or a overwhelming majority. I believe it's over 20%. And anyway, the last portion of this report is the safe browsing status. I want to make sure that there's not malware or viruses on your sites or on your pages. If there are, this report will let you know. And so those are the updates over the last week, and I will be talking to you again this next coming Monday. If you like what you heard, if you want to get future updates, smash that subscribe button, and I will see you next week.